In the village of Sundarpur, Vishwanath and Asha lived on the thin edge of the local economy. They were day laborers with no assets to their name, yet they possessed one significant advantage. Their two sons, Raju and Suhas, were the top students in their school. The parents reached an agreement. They would take on any amount of manual labor required to keep the boys in school, viewing education as the only practical way to move the next generation out of the village's cycle of poverty. For this family, a classroom wasn't a luxury. It was a structural shield designed to protect their children from the physical hardships they endured every day. The work was dangerous and physically draining. Each day, Vishwanath hauled heavy bags of cement up 5 flights of stairs at a local construction site, working through the peak intensity of the afternoon heat. While working on the upper levels, Vishwanath suffered a sudden bout of dizziness and fell from the 5th floor. He died before he could be reached by help. Beyond the immediate grief of losing a husband, Asha faced a cold financial reality. The family's primary source of income vanished instantly, leaving her to support 2 students on a single laborer's wage. This loss created a vacuum that threatened the family's long-term plan. Without Vishwanath, the path to the boys' education was no longer a shared burden, but a weight Asha would have to carry alone. Asha refused to let the tragedy dictate her children's future. 10 days after the funeral, she returned to the construction site, choosing to increase her own workload rather than pulling her sons out of school to find jobs. She spent her days doing heavy labor in the sun, and her nights doing hours of embroidery by the light of a small lamp. This double-shift routine allowed her to cover the rising costs of school supplies and exam fees. By hiding the extent of her exhaustion, she created a stable environment where Raju and Suhas could focus entirely on their studies, unaware of how close they were to the financial brink. The investment yielded results. Raju graduated at the top of the district, securing a full scholarship to study engineering in the city. The plan was working, but it required Raju to move away from home for the first time. Asha had overcome the physical challenge of the labor, but moving money to the city introduced a new risk. She needed a way to get her extra earnings to Raju without leaving her job in the village. She turned to Shankar, a family friend who traveled to the city for work. Every month, Asha handed him 5,000 rupees to deliver to Raju for his living expenses. Shankar initially helped as a friend, but as the months passed, he realized there was no system in place to track the cash. He decided to take advantage of Asha's trust. This diagram shows the mechanics of the theft. Asha provided the full 5,000 rupees, but Shankar diverted 2,000 rupees into his own pocket before reaching the city. He told Raju that his mother was struggling to find work and could only send 3,000. Shankar relied on the fact that Asha's focus was entirely on her work. He bet that her isolation in the village and her trust in their friendship would prevent her from ever asking for a receipt or verifying the amounts with her son. The deception lasted until the Diwali holidays. While sitting at home, Raju mentioned the difficult months where only 3,000 rupees arrived. Asha was confused, knowing she had never missed a payment. Mother and son confronted Shankar at his home, presenting him with the dates and the specific amounts that had been withheld. They demanded the return of the stolen savings. Shankar refused to admit guilt. He claimed they were misremembering the amounts and accused them of being ungrateful for his time and effort. Raju wanted to escalate the conflict, but Asha intervened. She decided that a long legal or physical battle with a neighbor was a distraction they couldn't afford. She chose to walk away and return to work, keeping their focus on the upcoming final exams. Several years later, the sons completed their journey. Raju was working as a senior engineer in the city, and Suhas had been commissioned as a police inspector. Their reality had changed completely. Now it was Inspector Suhas who patrolled the district, representing the very authority that Shankar had once ignored. During a routine investigation into village fraud, Suhas found Shankar still running the same types of schemes. Suhas arrested him and ensured that every person Shankar had cheated, including his own mother, was paid back in full. This outcome wasn't the result of a lucky break. It happened because Asha's sons gained the specific skills and authority needed to handle people like Shankar. They solved the problem by outgrowing the village's limitations. Today, Asha lives with her children, supported by the careers she sacrificed her health to build. Her sons are an engineer and a policeman,